Hello, this is Aaron Mean of SG Gaming Info and welcome to my video review of EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2. Prior to release, Star Wars Battlefront 2 had received nothing but scorn from fans and critics alike, with their ire pointed directly at the game's laughably evil, pay-to-win business model. But once you move past something that Emperor Palpatine would consider too far, what is the game like? Starting with the game's campaign, you are placed in a post-Return of the Jedi setting, where you explore the final hours of the Empire through the eyes of Commander Iden Verso, leader of the Imperial Special Forces unit, Inferno Squad. As you might imagine from the promotional material, you get to play the game as a member of the Empire, and see how it collapses and reforms into the First Order. But in reality, the story is very different. Yes, you get to be a character who is a member of the Empire, but this is for about 3 or 4 missions as Iden Verso and her comrade Del Meeko decide to defect to the rebels after seeing the Empire use a super weapon on an Imperial-controlled world. Well, more importantly, Iden's homeworld. This act sees Iden run to the rebels, who are more than eager to trust 2 Imperial commandos who killed many of their allies and friends. Upon joining the rebels, you help them protect Naboo, and play a role in finally defeating the Empire in the Battle of Jakku. While Iden Verso is the game's main character, a good portion of the game is spent playing as iconic Star Wars heroes, such as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. This move to have the heroes take center stage over a newcomer reeks of fan service. It is pretty much EA saying, you don't want to experience what it's like to play as an Imperial who switched sides, you want to play as the heroes from the movies. While the story mode does have its high points, such as getting to see what the galaxy was like between episode 6 and 7, it is ultimately poor fan service. Honestly, I felt EA lied about the story mode. In fact, on the Battlefront II website, the campaign section says the following. In the sky above Endor, the Emperor's superweapon explodes, destroyed by rebel pilots. This cataclysm propels Inferno Squad into a journey across the galaxy on a quest to restore order and to quash the emboldened rebellion. This doesn't happen unless the rebels suddenly became the Empire. Also, don't expect a decent ending, as the story just stops for no reason. I know it's almost laughable to say this, but I think EA might actually try to make the ending of the story some form of DLC, or make you wait for the 3rd installment of the Battlefront franchise. Moving on to the main portion of Battlefront 2, we have the multiplayer. Battlefront 2's multiplayer offers some good gunplay and objective-focused gameplay, but while these main components work well, the progression systems make the multiplayer feel hollow, and well, if I'm being honest, grind heavy. Before discussing the progression systems, I want to mention the game's multiplayer modes. There are a total of 5 modes, which are mainly objective and deathmatch games, broken up into different player counts and the removal of heroes and vehicles. The modes offer something for everyone. For example, if you like objective games, but don't want to be constantly killed by someone playing Yoda or Darth Maul, then you can play Strike Mode. The multiplayer's main mode of Galactic Assault is a 20v20 extravaganza, with dark and light side heroes, ground and aerial vehicles, and blaster shots and explosions going off everywhere. Galactic Assault offers players the closest opportunity to being in an actual Star Wars movie. Now let's talk about the progression systems. I use the term systems because you have class-specific leveling to unlock additional card slots, overall player rank to craft better star cards, challenges to unlock new weapons, and a crafting system to make star cards. Honestly, the progression system in Battlefront 2 is a mess, and it all stems from EA's pay-to-win loot boxes. Now I know at the time of recording EA has temporarily suspended the ability to buy loot boxes with real money, but it is temporary, and I did experience how soul destroying and disastrous the loot box setup was prior to the game's official release. For those who have been living under a rock for the past few days, Battlefront 2's loot box system is the primary way to gain star cards. Star cards, for those who don't know, are special cards that alter your class's abilities or enhance their skills by giving them better health regeneration or doing more damage. Now, you can't pick what star cards you get in a loot box, as you have to, well, put some credits or real-world money on the table, select a loot box, and hope you get the items you want from the box you bought. If you haven't realised yet, you are essentially gambling as you hope the box gives you the rewards you want. Now, as I mentioned above, Battlefront 2 has a class system with Assault, Heavy, Officer and Specialist being the 4 playable classes. You can control vehicle and special character classes along with hero units. The 4 base classes allow you to equip up to 3 star cards and change weapons. While you can equip up to 3 star cards, you need to earn the right to equip a second and third card. To earn this right, you need to buy more star cards for the particular class you are playing, which means grinding matches against those who have multiple star cards in an effort to raise enough credit to open a loot box and hope you get the cards you need. Granted, you can create the card you want via crafting parts, but these can only be gained via loot boxes. In terms of weapon unlocks, these are gained by completing challenges that require you to kill X number of enemies. Moving back to star cards, we have the multi-tier upgrade system, which goes from common all the way to epic. To upgrade your star cards, you need crafting components, a specific class level, and a specific overall rank. The progression system in Battlefront 2 could honestly be a bad joke if it wasn't so sad. The system heavily penalises newcomers, and when the ability to purchase loot boxes with real money was available, those who chose not to spend real money. So what else is there to say about the multiplayer? Well, the multiplayer allows you to play across the 3 eras of Star Wars, the prequels, original saga and the new saga. The multiplayer has a good number of iconic Star Wars locations, including Yavin 4, Kamino, Naboo and Jakku. So from the ability to explore all the eras and visit iconic locations, Battlefront 2 does a good job. Outside of the multiplayer and story, is there anything else to do? Well, there is the arcade mode, which allows you to take part in 16 battle scenarios in either solo or split screen multiplayer. These battle scenarios, which are split into 8 light side and 8 dark side matches, are a great way to unwind after some stressful multiplayer matches, and of course earn some credits while doing so. Unfortunately, the game only allows you to gain about 700 credits every 24 hours in the arcade mode, for no real reason. Moving away from the gameplay, let's see if Battlefront 2 has any technical issues or bugs. Well, on the PlayStation 4, the game had incredibly long load times. I swear I could go make a cup of tea and be back to see the game still loading. And there also seems to be incredibly bad frame rate drops. I actually had the game drop to single digits for 1 or 2 seconds. Now, before reaching my conclusion, let's look at a positive aspect of Battlefront 2, the graphics and audio. In terms of graphics, Battlefront 2 is a marvel to look at, with each planet and character looking absolutely stunning. In terms of audio, everything screams Star Wars, from the sound of weapons to the general ambience of each location you visit. So, in conclusion, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a mess with its convoluted progression systems and strong emphasis on loot boxes. While the game has iconic Star Wars moments, they don't feel earned and reek of poor fan service. So with that all said, I give Star Wars Battlefront 2 a score of 5 out of 10, with the game's pros being graphics and sound, and the game's cons being multiple progression systems, loot boxes, and a poor campaign. Thank you for watching. Please like, favorite, and subscribe. For more gaming information, please visit sggaminginfo.com And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/sggaminginfo, and of course follow us on Twitter at sggaminginfo.